Now here's a good one about a young wife who's now learning there's consequences to actions and her marriage may be in jeopardy after she just blew up at her husband, a guy who she describes as somewhat on the spectrum about his hobbies and interests, and now he's gone completely indifferent to her and she's losing her mind. And she's learning that the whole, not being able to control her emotions, and she was in the moment, what she said, guess what? It doesn't matter. Titled, I, a 27-year-old female, screamed at my husband, a 28-year-old male, over his hobbies. And now he's changed and I don't know how to fix this. And I shout out to Andy for sending this story. She says, hey everyone, I need some advice about a situation with my husband. More like you need advice on a situation you screwed up with your husband. I'm 27, he's 28, and we've been married for 4 years. He has a room where he keeps all his hobbies, sim racing, aviation setups, soccer analysis tools, Lego sets, music production equipment. Basically, it's his sanctuary. He's super analytical and loves writing down and dissecting things from politics to sports. He's slightly on the spectrum and very introverted, so he doesn't have close friends. I'm really the only person he shares everything with. Okay, so you heard all that. So clearly she was aware of all these things when she accepted his proposal to get married, and then she was up there in front of God or a judge or somebody saying, I do. She was aware of all these things, but now she has a problem with him? He's always inviting me into his space to be a part of his interests. I love him and appreciate that he wants to include me, but sometimes I just need some time for myself. Recently, I snapped. I yelled at him saying some hurtful things that I didn't mean. Like how his interests bore me, that he needs to get a social life, and even question why I married him. Oh my God, lady. Saying this to a dude on the spectrum, wherever on the spectrum he is, that's going to mess him up. Do you know how hard it is for him to deal in social situations? And that his man cave, it's like the Rain Man cave, Don't take offense to this. Anybody on the spectrum watching, it's a fucking joke. Relax. And I'm going to get shit for that. But it was the Rain Man cave. You know how big a deal is that he wants to invite you in to join on his hobbies and interests in his man cave? And you're saying that and questioning whether you should have married him? Now listen to this. She says, I regret every word, but my anger got the best of me. I couldn't control it in that moment. Bullshit. You're an adult. You're 27 years old. I don't want to hear that crap. You're behaving like a 4-year-old throwing a temper because mommy won't get you the Barbie with the cowgirl outfit at fucking the toy store, ordering it online at Amazon. Women pull that crap all the time. It was in the moment. That's how I was feeling in the moment. The whole in the moment thing is not a free pass to get away with shit. I yelled at you. It was in the moment. You sucked off some guy in the bathroom of a Texas Roadhouse. It was in the moment. No, I don't hear about the moment crap. There are consequences. You gotta learn. Since then, he's completely changed. He stopped spending time in his room, moved to sleeping on the couch, and he barely talks to me. What do you expect? You may feel like the biggest fucking loser in the world. And he said basically, and how he's going to interpret. And by the way, I'm sure you said he's very analytical. He's analyzing everything you said, word for word. And he's not going to stop thinking about that. You said pretty much, you question why you married him. You wonder why he doesn't sleep in the same bed with you? He even ignored our usual tradition of watching our home nation soccer team play, something he'd never skipped before. Instead, he was working on his laptop, breaking our no work at home rule. When I asked him about it, he said he didn't care about the game and mentioned that maybe he should be more like his father, who's a workaholic and whom my husband idolizes. He even added, I don't blame him for divorcing at that age now. Uh-oh. She says, I've apologized multiple times, but he just says, it's okay, maybe you're right. In other words, maybe it didn't work out. And shuts down any attempts I make to talk about his interests. I'm terrified he's considering divorce. What I tell you, guys, that, and right here you hear it, terrified about the divorce. Miss snapping and yelling at him, who, again, by the way, she knew what this guy was like before they got married. She probably thought, oh, he'd changed for me. No, this is who he is. What I tell you about women fearing uncertainty. What I tell you about your girl has to know that she crosses you, like she's doing to this guy here, he can walk away. Now she's terrified. It's a sad reality, but your girl, guys, has to know She pushes you too far. Whatever that is, you're out of there, and you're never looking back. I'm terrified he's considering divorce. I know I messed up, but I don't really know how to rebuild trust and help him feel valued and loved again. I don't want to lose him, but I'm unsure how to approach this and make amends. Any advice? Well, I can give you advice. You ain't going to like it, but that's what I do. Okay, number one, no particular order. All your I'm sorry's aren't going to mean shit, because in his mind, that's what you really think and feel. Obviously, you exploding at him like that, that's obviously how you really thought about it. You want him to give up his man cave. You want him to give up his hobbies and all that stuff like that. You want him to be a social butterfly, even though you knew who you're getting into. So you're not going to fool him about that. Two, grow up. Don't use that, it was in the moment, that's how I feel. Nobody wants to hear that crap. 4-year-olds have a hard time controlling their emotions, and they learn. So I want to hear that's how you felt. No. Next one, 2 or 3, whatever we're on. Go over to Dick's Sporting Goods. Why? Stock up on knee pads, because you're going to be using those knee pads to repay him in ways if you can actually get him to partake in such things. That's the kind of apology you can really show him to maybe make him want to stay. But other than those things, lady, you're up shit creek without a fucking paddle, because this guy is not going to forget this. And you knew exactly who you're getting into and who you're marrying. But the thing is, guys, a lot of women think that they get with a guy and that the guy will change for them. They can change the guy. Thing is this, guys, whatever your hobbies and interests may be, never change them for a woman. And I have known friends who have given up their interests and hobbies, hanging out with the bros, all that stuff like that, because that's what their wives claim they want. And the wives will nag and whine because they're not around as much because they're out with the bros. They're at martial arts school. I had a friend like this in martial arts, and his wife would nag and whine and bitch because he'd go there, God forbid, twice a week for an hour, maybe an hour and a half with the commute. And if, God forbid, he wanted to go 3 times a week, oh, she'd lay it on thick. And he would then just started scaling back and then giving up other things he liked, and she became more bitchy. Imagine that, because he was caving. So they try to get you to give up your hobbies and interests, and then they get mad at you when you do. Yeah, it's fucked up. Don't ever do that, because then they're like, oh, well, you changed for me. They want the guy that's going to do what he wants, be the leader. So don't ever, there's a lot of lessons out of this, and she's an asshole, but just a little piece of information you can learn from. Never give up your interests or hobbies or your bros or anything like that you love for your wife. And don't change your opinion on things or your politics to make your girlfriend or wife happy. That'll make them really make them really have lack of respect for it, even though they'll claim we're never going to have sex again because you voted for this party or whatever. But anyhow, screw her. She deserves this. Let her suffer. Now, a few comments here, and the comments are ruthless. I mean, one says here, I mean, you told him everything about him is boring and that he should change and be more social, and question why you were married to him. Clearly everything an autistic person fears, hearing the most in the world, and from the person he thought loved him for who he is. I wouldn't be surprised or he divorces you, and I think you deserve it. That's not how you treat someone you love and respect. Exactly. And believe me, her freak out is exactly what she was thinking and feeling. Another one. Autistic guy here. Oh, this should be good. There's like 10 ducks walking by this parking lot, quacking and quacking. It's like, be quiet, ducks. I'm filming. Autistic guy here. If my partner says something like that, there'll be no coming back. For many of us, our hobbies or special interests are the only way we can relax and is our recharge time. Then there's all the trauma based around social abilities and being socially rejected all of our lives. Him not having a social life isn't something he can control, and it's likely one of his biggest insecurities. Guarantee you that. Then you question why you even married him. You done fucked up, and if he has any self-respect, he'd leave you. Amen. There are more comments, but you get the gist of this. So, there you go, guys. The whole can't control my emotions, can't control how I feel. Duck, shut the fuck up. So anyhow, I've lost my train of thought. I love the ducks, but they're annoying me. Anyhow, guys, there you go.